Sir, Abdi sir. Sir, we are just beginning in 2 minutes. Our principal sir has joined, and as soon as he gives us the signal, and we'll just begin. It will just take 2 minutes, sir. Sir, volume आपकी थोड़ी लो हो. Sir, volume आपकी थोड़ी कम आ रही है.
गुड़िया, गुड़िया. क्या मालूम रहो आवाज बड़ी आवाज.
जी sir, it's better.
बढ़ गई.
Yes sir.
सुगंधा.
जी sir, yes sir, your voice is better now.
ठीक है, थैंक यू.
Okay sir.
वैसा न करो छोड़ के भाग जाए.
नहीं सर, ऐसा मत करिएगा सर. All our participants are eagerly waiting to listen to you.
दादी कब चाय और बिना लेक्चर दिए तक आती है.
Good afternoon to all participants. A warm welcome to our 7-day online faculty development program on English literature and sustainable development goals. We are delighted to have you join us today from different parts of the country to embark on this educational journey. In today's rapidly changing landscape, it is imperative that educators play a pivotal role in shaping not just mind, but also the future. English literature, with its powerful storytelling, is a lens through which we can understand and address the pressing global challenges encapsulated in the Sustainable Development Goals. This program aims to equip you with the tools, knowledge, and innovative strategies to integrate sustainability into your English literature curriculum. Over the course of this program, you will engage in thought-provoking discussions, collaborate with like-minded peers, and gain insights into the intersection of literature and sustainability. We hope this program will empower you to inspire the next generation of learners to be agents of positive change. Once again, welcome to all. Now, I would like to request our principal, Professor Devendra Kumar Singh, to please address the participants.
मैं नेशनल पीजी कॉलेज के प्रिंसिपल के रूप में आज के जो इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट द्वारा सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम के तहत टारगेट के तौर पर जो एक एफडीपी प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज किया जा रहा है, इसके लिए मैं सभी का स्वागत, अभिनंदन और वंदन करते हैं। मैं प्रोफेसर आब्दी जी का विशेष तौर पर स्वागत करता हूं कि आप की नोट स्पीकर के रूप में इस प्रोग्राम में अपनी सहभागिता दे रहे हैं। मैं इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट के विभागाध्यक्ष डॉक्टर राकेश जैन और सुगंधा श्रीवास्तव जी का भी हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं कि आप लोगों ने एफडीपी प्रोग्राम फैकल्टी के डेवलपमेंट के लिए ऑर्गेनाइज किया। आपको भी मैं विशेष तौर पर स्वागत करता हूं। नेशनल पीजी कॉलेज का ये 50वां स्थापना दिवस है। गोल्डन जुबली सेरेमनी चल रही है नेशनल पीजी कॉलेज की, और इस कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत बहुत से इवेंट्स कॉलेज द्वारा आयोजित किए जा रहे हैं। बहुत से सेमिनार, खेल गतिविधियां, डिबेट कंपटीशन। उसकी कड़ी में आज ये इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट का एफडीपी प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज किया जा रहा है। आप बहुत पहले ही शासन के द्वारा एक पत्र जारी किया गया था कि 17 जो गोल हैं वो हर संस्थाएं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को अवेयर कराएंगी, उनको टारगेट फिक्स करेंगी और ये जानेंगे कि क्या समाज के विकास के लिए, वर्ल्ड के डेवलपमेंट के लिए क्या किया जा सकता है। भारत का बहुत पुराना स्लोगन है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, और हम लोग पृथ्वी सूक्त है अथर्ववेद में, जिसका एक मंत्र है। उसमें कहा गया है कि धरती पर्यावरण को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए बहुत से जीवों को जन्म देती है, पेड़ पौधों को जन्म देती है। और उस श्लोक में, उस मंत्र में एक एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है। उसमें कहा गया है कि यौ यानी जौ, जो उस समय की खेती होती थी, जब धरती उसको उगाती है तो हमें, जब वो फसल तैयार हो जाती है तो जमीन से 6 अंगुल ऊपर हमें उसको कट करना होता है, काटना चाहिए। वो इसलिए कि धरती के पोषण के लिए इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस है। हमें उसका जो डंठल है उसको जब काट करके हम खलिहान में ले जाते हैं तो वो हिस्सा जानवरों के चारे के रूप में उपयोग किया जाता है। उसकी बाली से जो अन्न पैदा होता है, उस अन्न का कुछ हिस्सा चिड़ियों को लिए छोड़ दिया जाता है। जब हम उस अन्न को घर ले जाते हैं, हम उसका आटा बनाते हैं, तो आटे का कुछ हिस्सा पिपलाद यानी चींटी और चींटी के लिए छोड़ दिया जाना चाहिए। जब हम उस आटे को गूंथते हैं तो उसका एक अंश हमें मछलियों के चारे के लिए छोड़ देना चाहिए। जब हम उससे रोटी बनाते हैं तो रोटी का पहला जो रोटी तैयार की जाती है उसको गाय के लिए छोड़ देना चाहिए। जब हमारा रोटी पूरी तैयार हो जाए तो जो अंतिम रोटी होगी वो कुत्ते के लिए छोड़ देना चाहिए। जब खाना तैयार हो जाए तो सबसे जो सीनियर सिटीजन है हमें खाना उसको सर्व करना चाहिए। और जब खाना कुछ बच जाए तो वो फिर जो घरेलू पाले गए जानवर हैं उनके लिए छोड़ देना चाहिए। तो यह मंत्र दृष्टा ये कहता है कि एक के साथ सबका विकास होगा और हम कितने कॉन्शियस थे पर्यावरण के प्रति, हम कितने कॉन्शियस थे जीव जंतुओं के प्रति, हम कितने कॉन्शियस थे जो समाज में अपना योगदान दे रहे हैं उनके प्रति। और इस रूप में जो फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के लिए ऑर्गेनाइज किया जा रहा है, उनके गोल को पाने के लिए किया जा रहा है, इंग्लिश लिटरेचर या किसी भी तरह के लिटरेचर के लिए इन गोल के अपने इंपॉर्टेंस हैं, जिसमें मोटे तौर पर हम वातावरण के डेवलपमेंट के लिए, संस्कृति के डेवलपमेंट के लिए, जेंडर इक्वलिटी के लिए, मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए हमारे जो टारगेट हैं इनको रखा गया है। आज WHO ने भी एक डेटा दिया है बहुत पहले ही कि हर 7वां यूथ मेंटल स्ट्रेस का शिकार है। और ये क्यों है? इसमें बहुत बड़ी भूमिका सोशल मीडिया की है। तो निश्चित रूप से इन सारे जो पॉइंट्स हैं इनको लेकर के ये फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट को प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज किया जा रहा है। हमारे जो प्राचीन लिटरेचर है, प्राचीन साहित्य है, उसमें एक बहुत बड़ी बात कही गई है। मैं टीचर के लिए विशेष तौर पर कहूंगा, इस 7 जो उसमें हमारे उस मंत्र में 7 ऐसे बिंदु पर विशेष तौर पर शिक्षकों के लिए फोकस किया गया है कि होना चाहिए, जिसमें मुख्यतः ये कहा गया है, जो एक श्लोक है मैं उसको पढ़ के सुनाता हूं। उसका तात्पर्य है विद्वत्ताम दक्षताशीलम संक्रांति अनुशीलनम शिक्षकस्य गुणाः सप्त सचेतस्त्वम प्रसन्नता। शिक्षक के 7 गुण बताए गए हैं, जिसमें मोटे तौर पर कहा गया है पहला विद्वता होनी चाहिए, उसमें दक्षता होनी चाहिए, उनका अच्छा आचरण होना चाहिए, पढ़ाने की उसमें कुशलता होनी चाहिए, उसको निरंतर अभ्यास करने की जरूरत है और उसमें चेतना और अनुग्रह होना चाहिए। ये 7 गुण शिक्षक के बताए गए हैं और इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट इन 7 गुणों के साथ शायद ये FDP प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहा है। और ये 7 जो बिंदु हैं, इस शिक्षकों के आचरण के साथ साथ जो फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट है वो एनवायरनमेंट को क्या देगा, वो हमारे बच्चों के सामने कैसा टारगेट फिक्स करेगा, वो जो समाज की आने वाली चुनौतियां हैं उनको कैसे दूर करने के लिए बताएगा। साहित्य की बहुत बड़ी विधा होती है, जहां कोई नहीं पहुंचता है वहां पर साहित्य पहुंचता है। और हम लोग बचपन से सोचते हैं कि हमें अमर होना चाहिए और अमरता हमारा एक टारगेट होता है। और उसके लिए कहा जाता है या तो आप लिखने लायक कोई ऐसा काम करें या पढ़ने लायक कोई चीज लिखें। तो साहित्य का अनुशीलन पढ़ने लायक किसी चीज के माध्यम से होता है। हमारे जितने भी साहित्यकार हैं वो अमर ही हैं, और इस रूप में अमर हैं कि उन्होंने ऐसा लिटरेचर हमारे सामने दिया है जो समाज को एक दिशा देता है और हमारे बच्चों के बारे को एक मोरल नॉलेज देता है। तो मैं सभी का पुनः स्वागत करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं और वंदन करता हूं। सभी लोग इस प्रोग्राम में जुड़ रहे हैं। मैं सभी जो ऑनलाइन तरीके से जुड़े हुए हमारे स्कॉलर्स हैं, विद्वान हैं, मैं सबका हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं और मैं इसकी सफलता की शुभकामना देता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request our head of the department, Professor Rakesh Jain, to please introduce the program so that we can proceed with Abidi sir's lecture. Thank you so much, Jen sir. Now, I would like to request our student, Devansh, to kindly introduce sir, and then we can begin with his lecture.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Professor Abidi. Professor S.Z.H. Abidi is an educationist par excellence who has greatly contributed to the field of higher education. Professor Abidi retired as the head, Department of English and Modern European Languages, University of Lucknow in 2012. Thereafter, he served as the head and dean in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences in Integral University from 2013 to 2019. He has supervised publication is named Myth, Memory and Serenade, a first volume of poems, haiku and litku in February 2023. He has delivered lectures on various topics in the Academic Staff College of Aligarh, Allahabad, Raipur, Jaipur, Jamia and Lucknow, etc. which functions under the Human Resource Development Center. He has also guided innumerable students in their academic career through NET coaching. His knowledge and pedagogical skills have steered and supported the students in their student life as well as in their professional endeavors.
Thank you so much, Devansh. Now I would like to request Professor Abidi to please begin with his lecture. We have eagerly been waiting, and sir has also been waiting patiently. Thank you so much, sir.
Now, at the very outset, I would like to assert that literature does not give us material benefits. Literature has its own unique function. And I would like to begin my lecture. It's in 3 parts. I will be discussing about the importance of literature. Then I will come to eco-criticism, etc. I'll just begin with a small poem of mine to prove that literature does not matter in relation to materialism, in relation to money production. It is a different kind of experience. Just brief poem, then I'll begin. Confronted by a petty criminal on the lonely road after the sunset, who commanded me to part with whatever I had, I retorted, I have nothing but a pocket full of memories. He habitually said, wonderful, hand them over to me. I laughed and said, don't confuse memories with money. They are of no use to you. He thought a little and said, take my advice free of cost. Don't carry useless things in your pocket, heart and mind. This was the advice of the petty thief. But we have 2 kinds of literature. Literature of knowledge and literature of power. And this is a distinction given by Thomas de Quincey. Literature of knowledge means different branches of human knowledge. But here we talk of literature of power. And the power of literature are infinite. So I would like to recite a well-known couplet to underline the human importance of literature. उसने छूकर मुझे पत्थर से फिर इंसान कर दिया, मुद्दतों बाद मेरे आंख में आंसू आए. You know, a person under a curse had become a statue. He was accidentally touched by a flying fairy, and then he was transformed into a human being. And who is this fairy? This fairy is literature. Because literature humanizes us. Literature does not give us partial knowledge. Other branches of human knowledge are partial, but literature deals with the whole of life. Literature is human-toned, human-centered, human-accented, and covers every aspect of life. Interconnected is its hallmark, and society would not exist without literature. हम न होंगे तो बिखर जाओगे. Literature says to society, हम न होंगे तो बिखर जाओगे. हमारे वजूद से है तेरे जीने का एहसास. Because literature is the bright book of life, and literature, you know, is news, as Ezra Pound says, that it stays as news. Literature has CR effect. CR means consciousness raising effect. Literature tells us how to be a human being. Literature tells us to be sensitive. Literature tells us, and in Sanskrit literature, we have a theory called Kanta Vachak theory. That literature coaxes us, persuades us, like a subtle wife who persuades her husband in a tender manner. And literature, although W.H. Auden says poetry makes nothing happen, but poetry is philosophic. Poetry has caused a lot of happenings. It has refined sensibility. And as we are going to talk, nowadays we call it the age of suicide. The willful, and suicide has been called by a Russian writer as tomorrow's big zero. The willful destruction of nature by man is an international suicide. And so literature has come forward to perform its role as peace squad, protest and protect. And as Sartre also says, we have 9 keywords which are being used nowadays in literary discussion. Number 1 is local. Number 2, mufassil. Number 3, regional. Number 4, national. Number 5, international. I just used the word international. That this phenomenon, this willful destruction of nature by man is international suicide. Then we have international, translational. Then we have global, then local, and then universal, and then cosmopolitan. In relation to Amitav Ghosh, critics are now talking of eco-cosmopolitanism. So these are the different levels. And in most eco-writers, we have, and this is a unique feature, please note down, we have the localization of the global and globalization of the local. We have, as the professor just now pointed out, there are 3 traditions in eco-criticism. One tradition is British tradition, which is pastoral tradition. I will talk of that a little later. Second is American tradition. And the third is Indian tradition, from the Rig Vedas down to Vandana Shiva, from Kalidasa's eco-poetry down to recent writers. So what I mean to say that now, after so many years, 2 decades ago, when I was lecturing on Shakespeare, I asked somebody in the audience, do you understand by the term, what do you understand by the term green Shakespeare? He couldn't understand. Today, the topic of my lecture was from green Shakespeare to Amitav Ghosh. So remember, eco-criticism is of recent origin. In 1972, Joseph Meeker wrote a book, The Comedy of Survival. Because remember, survival is the biological instinct. And when everything is being destroyed, so eco-criticism has come. And we have had a number of writers who are now focusing on this global crisis. So, Sartre, I would like to mention what Sartre says. Sartre says that literature has a social and political dimension. He suggests that literature is a way of engaging with society and of changing the status quo. By presenting alternative visions of the world, literature has the power to inspire change and promote social progress. And he also emphasizes the importance of the power of literature to transcend everyday experience and engage with society on a deeper level. So as I told you that literature is like a tender wife. Literature is like news that stays news. Literature has CR effect. And today, if there is one topic on which the entire world agrees on, that is the eco-criticism, ecological awareness. Although I talked of three traditions, but writers belonging to different countries, they are using it. Now, in England, we have had a long tradition of pastoral poetry. Pastoral poetry is divided into four main kinds. Eclogue, description of months and seasons. Then bucolic. Then this Georgic, and then Idylls. And that's why, although Shakespeare has his own share of environmentalism, but in plays like A Midsummer Night's Dream, and in the last place where he protests against fur trade, where he protests against the dislocation of Aborigines from their homeland, and he also refuses this idea that this human planet is to be dominated by humans only. There are other animals. So Green Shakespeare, so all these writers, they are being reassessed in tune with the pastoral tradition. 18th century is called century of metropolis. But there was a bifurcation, Sylvanus Urbanus. There was a bifurcation between the city and the rural life. And we have also, because of the philosophy of Deism, Deism said that this universe has been created by God, but he does not pervade it. He is above it. This is called the theory of the clock beacon. So 18th century writers, they described nature. They had a tender concern for nature. Description of parks, landscape, seasons, evening, spring, etc. But the real problem was in the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution caused what is called the death of nature. People's alienation from nature. There was the death of agrarian rhythm of life, and people started, this is called the Great Exodus. People started departing from rural areas to city areas. So the havoc caused by the Industrial Revolution to the environment, to the natural rhythm of life, has come in for reinterpretation and eco-critical reinterpretation of Romantic Revival, and its writers is called Green Romanticism. All the writers, Wordsworth. So Rousseau says, back to the nature. Wordsworth says, return to nature. And in American tradition, Thoreau said, he said literally return to nature. So this tradition continued. Then during the Victorian age, Thomas Hardy advocated environment. D.H. Lawrence wrote cosmic literature, and cosmic consciousness, so far as snake is concerned, birds are concerned. And then after Lawrence, we have Ted Hughes, where earlier the focus was on the Anthropocene, on the human-centrism. This was rejected. In Ted Hughes, we have biocentrism. So far as Green Romanticism is concerned, that these romantic writers, they had their concern for ecology, which is called romantic ecology. So this tradition is being assessed, and that's why, there are only two critical movements in which we talk of waves. First, we had 4 waves in feminism. I call this oceanography of feminism. But now we have also oceanography of eco-criticism. We have had so far 3 waves from 1970 to 1990, then 1990 to 200, and from 200 down to the present. Eco-criticism has had 3 waves, where in the beginning it was focused on deep ecology, then the focus on all the other related environmental issues. And I told you that I gave you 9 keywords. It's a global affair now. We have Margaret Atwood from Canada. We have Emerson, Thoreau, Robert Frost from England. We have Amitav Ghosh from India. We have other writers from Britain who are writing eco-critical literature, eco-consciousness, where the focus, because remember, they are all realizing that we have to protest against man's inhumanity to nature. And because man is now in a peculiar position. Man is not able to dominate nature because man can't, he tried to, but he is now suffering from ecophobia. He fails to control. So the situation is paradoxical. Man is the victim of nature and nature is the victim of man. So both have to change to accommodate each other. Now, I talked of green romanticism because green romanticism speaks against the excesses of industrial revolution as engaged in by romantics. And what happens that, as you know, this is a global problem. So eco-criticism is flourishing because in eco-criticism, we do not have the great chain of being from God down to the other. No. In eco-criticism, everything is connected with everything else. And any disturbance in one area will disturb the. We have global warming. And we have global warming on the global level, but still burning is a local problem. And Indian English poetry, which was so far occupied with urban issues, has suddenly taken an ecological turn. And I would like to tell you that in 2022, we had a collection of poems by Sudeep Sen, Anthropocene, where he raises all these issues. And in one of his poems, it is embodied, which is dedicated to Amitav Ghosh. He says, "My lungs filled by Delhi's insidious toxic air, echo asthmatic sounds. A new vinyl dub remix our universe, where radiation germinates from human follies, where contamination persists. Germinates from human follies, where contamination persists from mistrust, when pleasures of sex are merely a sport, where everything is ambition, everything is desire, everything is nothing and everything." So before the planet is extinct, there is hope for survival. And that's why eco-criticism literature right and left. And you know, in India, Amitav Ghosh is the only writer, although in other countries we have emergence of cli-fi. Cli-fi means climate fiction. In India, Amitav Ghosh is the only writer. And his novel, The Hungry Tide, is a brilliant metaphor for the relationship between man and nature. And he, unlike writers of other countries, he correlates the current ecological crisis and climate change with the history of colonialism in two of his prose works. Yes. You know, he has written a great derangement, a non-fiction on climate change. Then he has also written the Nutmeg Curse, Parables for a Planet in Crisis. These two books the literature does not influence you overnight. As I told you, I gave the definition about literature is news that is impassioned knowledge. Literature lingers long in your psyche and it coaxes you, it persuades you to change. You will not change suddenly. The change will be a Fabian change. Change will be through permeation. Literature with its subjects, with its treatment, permeates. So in America, you know, we have Association of Study of Literature and Ecology. We have their journal. We have so many critics. I'm not able to pick up, but remember, eco-criticism engages in the device of survival. You know, critics have announced the death of character, death of love, death of God, death of nature, but no critic has so far announced the death of comedy, because survival is a biological instinct and eco-criticism is concerned with survival of humanity on this planet. And that's why, you know, we are now talking of go green, green warriors, green planet, green romanticism, green G.M. Hopkins. Now all writers are being called green because green is a magic word. Robert Frost says, nature's first green is gold. But remember, a tiny green leaf is a mighty sage. It tells you how the golden color changes into green color through the process of photosynthesis. So green is not the color of jealousy. Green is now the color of hope. And in fact, the planet is gasping. That is the right word. The planet is gasping for the last elements of oxygen. And so writers, Margaret Atwood from Australia, and Kavita Ghosh from India, and then there are writers from Latin America, British writers. They are all writing novels, climate fiction, to consolidate to what I said, be square, to protest and to protect. The main purpose is that this planet should be again. So, eco-criticism is not partial. Eco-criticism is the marriage of ecology and literature. And literature has had changes in its trend, but it pursues, it pursued the problem of women through feminist literature, effected the change. It pursued the problem of environment, it has effected the change. And now, misuse of science and technology. Now a number of writers are writing dystopias, and they are also writing ecotopias to show that how we have to abandon the misuse of technology and science. So there are, as I told you, that literature operates, and in The Hungry Tide, Ghosh gives us eco-cosmopolitanism, because it is not a matter of Sundarbans, it is not a matter of Delhi. And I also told you that in eco-criticism, the local and the global are mixed in a manner that it appears natural, what I call localization of the global and globalization of the local. And all these words, I told you that there's a globalization, there's a pollution is international suicide, and suicide is tomorrow's big zero. So if we have to save ourselves from the big zero, we have to do something. Eco-criticism has literature. So literature is always there at the door of society. A poet says about action, लौट आया हूँ यार के दर से, मैं हमेशा अपने वेलवेट के घर से लौट आया हूँ जब भी वक्त ने पुकारा है मुझे. So whenever time has called literature has favorably responded and coped with the problem. Literature is impassioned knowledge. Literature operates on the level of memories. Literature is not like that thief who says that don't have useless things in your pocket. Literature has a pocket full of memories, pocket full of emotive elements, because literature coaxes us. Literature persuades us to change, and this change is visible. I deliberately mentioned green Shakespeare, because from 16th century onwards, we had the plight of women, which was called uprising. So the journey from uprising to French feminism and beyond has happened. So is the case with the misuse of science and technology. So is the case with environment and environmentalism of Shakespeare. Now there are a number of books being written on Shakespeare and ecophobia, and other things are being demonstrated. And then, as I told you, now we are talking of green romanticism. Green romanticism means, somebody asked what does it mean? Green romanticism means eco-critical reassessment of romantic revival from the angle of ecology. There are so many things. So what I myself believe that literature, without literature, society can't exist. That is why literature says to society, हम ना होंगे तो बिखर जाओगे, हमारे वजूद से ही जीतेगा इंसान. Literature, holds a mirror to society that see your ugly face and change, and the gold massage on your face. That has been happening, and eco-criticism has been a very powerful literary movement. It's a global movement, international, universal, whatever words you use. And as I told you just now, that Sudeep Sen is talking of neem tree, where there's a play between local and global. If you talk of neem tree in your village, you are also talking of global issues of the nature, and nature always is. Nature has the power to regenerate itself. But if we are in the grip of ecophobia, that you are not able to dominate, if you are not able to dominate, you are also not able to destroy nature. Nature will have its revenge. Nature will respond to your ecocide, your murder of nature. Nature will. So, what is the solution? Peaceful coexistence of man and nature. Because both are victims. Man is victim of nature, nature is victim of man. That's why the hungry tide is a metaphor for the conflict between the human world and the natural world. But they have continued to live. And Amitav Ghosh must be praised that he is the only writer who has talked of climate change, climate fiction. At least he is writing it. Others are not doing in India. But as I told you, we have a happy trend. We have ecological turn in Indian English poetry. Of late, I had this collection of poems, Woman in the Tree. This is a collection of poems on climate and nature. So people now, poets, which is with private emotion, are writing about and this count every breath. It is a collective petition for climate action. It is a plea for saving the environment. And as you know, as I told you, eco-Buddhism has 3 traditions, and in all the countries, even in South Africa, human colonization of islands. I did not have enough time, although I had lectured on eco-concerns in tribal literature. Tribals, they are the true preserver of ecology because it is their religion. They plant poems, but they also plant trees. For them, a green leaf is a weight. A tiny green leaf has the cosmic wisdom, the wisdom of photosynthesis. Without the sunlight, you cannot have a green leaf. And if the sun is covered with clouds, if it is foggy, if you are gasping for a breath, then surely you are going to face tomorrow's big zero. And as I told you, tomorrow's big zero is another name given to suicide by a Russian writer. Now you can ask whatever you want to ask.
Thank you so much for this enlightening lecture. I think in a very short span of time, we got so much knowledge, and I think whoever has ever studied from Abidi sir knows that half an hour of listening to sir is packed full of knowledge, and every minute, every second is very informative. So thank you so much, sir.
So many things to share. It's a vast field, and I cannot analyze it very well. But the hungry tide, as I told you, is a metaphor of
Yes, sir.
man's victimization of nature and all that. So if you have questions, you can ask.
Yes, sir, sure. I'll just hand over to Kadambari and she will ask questions.
But I showed you the recent development. Indian English poetry has taken an ecological turn now. 3 corrections I have mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Sudeep Sen and Vinita Agarwal and then Samir. You know, I've also written a number of poems on climate change and nature, but I did not give it to
आवाज सर नहीं आ रही है.
आवाज नहीं आ रही क्या? मेरी आवाज नहीं पहुंच रही.
Sir is not audible now. अपनी device.
Sir is audible to us.
Sir is audible.
Sir is audible to us.
Sir कुछ बोलिए.
देखिए, I did not want to discuss my personal poems here, but covered the vast range of literature. आवाज जा रही है?
जी सर आ रही है सर.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I have reserved some time for you, so that if you want to ask, you know, Margaret Atwood has been called the prophet of dystopia because she also discusses ecofeminism. Everything cannot be discussed in a short lecture.
Yes sir.
But broad contours of criticism, and my belief is that literature is capable of sustainable development.
Yes sir.
Pursues the matter till the last breath, and it effects change. Despite W.H. Auden saying poetry makes nothing happen, literature does make a change and a revolutionary change.
Yes sir. So now we have a question.
Sir, it is by Dr. Diksha Sharma. Can Ruskin Bonds' novel and his love of nature be considered as eco-criticism?
You know, Ruskin Bond lives in the mountains and he projects altered rural folk, hill folk, and you can make an approach, eco-critical approach. But we do not have any kind of crisis in the hill area, although Chipko movement was, we are talking about that Chipko movement came from the hills, and whatever is happening now in the Himalayan region, see the result. You can make eco-criticism means happy marriage of ecology and literature. All writers, you know, G.M. Hawkins have been written from the eco-critical point.
Next
Okay, so the next question is it okay to read or consider eco-criticism as a discipline of subject geography?
Pardon?
Is it okay to read or consider eco-criticism as a discipline of subject geography?
Eco-criticism belongs to environmental studies, and it can also be included in geography. Because remember, eco-criticism, ecology is a subject which is very pervasive. It is a interdisciplinary approach. You see, it is an interdisciplinary approach.
Okay sir.
Thank you. The next question is by Priyanshri Srivastava. With the advent of artificial intelligence, soon computers would be generating novels and articles. how would that change literature?
This is not the area on which I have spoken. So I will not encourage this question. I have not spoken on artificial intelligence. I have spoken on eco-control. I am no expert on artificial intelligence. You know, we have hypertext. Computers are writing novels and all that, but that is not my area. I'm not competent. I don't know anything about computers. I know about literature. If you have any question related to my lecture today, you can ask.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. If anybody else has any questions, they can ask the question. They can type it in the chat box.
You know, I pointed out the basic difference between deism and pantheism. In the 18th century, there was the philosophy of deism. 18th century writers did write nature poetry, but it was mechanical. There was no divine consciousness. Whereas the Romantics, whereas Emerson, whereas Tagore, whereas Wordsworth, they believe in the triangular relation of God, man, and universe. And if nature is a manifestation of divinity, then nature is divine. Nature is divine, and that is the substance of our romanticism, green or white or whatever you say.
So anyone has any other questions?
Ma'am, we request sir to please narrate a few lines from his novel on climate change, sir mentioned from the poem, if it is possible, sir.
Which poem?
Sir, any few lines from your recent book?
Yes, now today I read a poem to show that literature does not matter so far as material things are concerned. But this is not the forum for my personal poem. This was the forum for discussing this woman in the tree. This was the forum for count every breath of climate and country. And this was the time for me, the Gun Island, the Great Derangement, the Nutmeg, the Hungry Time, and eco-criticism as a whole. And branch. And in every country, you can find a novel or two on this eco-critical approach. James Coetzee's novel, Gabriel Garcia's novel, then you have that British-Japanese author, Never Let Me Go. You have Ecotopia, you have Dystopia. I mentioned that literature sustains its issues in a sustained manner. You see, from uprising, the condition of change, literature has that certain power. That's why I mentioned theory, Kanta, water theme. You know, wives are very, very subtle in persuading their husbands to change. So they make use of moments to influence their husband. That's why literature also, you know, coaxes us to change in a very subtle manner. And literature is called impassioned knowledge. Knowledge on the emotive level. Literature deals with memories, and literature focuses on all the aspects of life. That's why literature is the bright book of life. It focuses on interconnectedness. So is eco-criticism. And here we have the perspective of ecology and literature.
Yes, sir. So we have a few more questions.
So can nature fulfill all the goals of sustainable development?
This is a question by Ms. Smriti.
Yes, literature, you know, literature advocates and it does achieve sustainable development whenever it takes up any issue. I have told you, take ecology, take women's situation, take romanticism. You think that romanticism belongs to the romantic age. We have elemental romanticism of Elizabethan age. Then you have uneasy romanticism of the 18th century. Then you have romantic revival. Then you have neo-romantic revival. Then you have dark romanticism. Then you have reverse romanticism. Now, again, we have green romanticism. Literature pursues issues in a dogged manner. It does not. Literature is very faithful. And literature is timeless. It raises issues which remain universal. That's why Ezra Pound defined literature as new that stays as new. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Those who think that literature gives us material development, literature does not give us material development. Literature makes us human beings. Literature makes us a passionate protester. Literature has what I call CR function, consciousness raising function. Remember this term, CR function, consciousness raising function. Literature makes a plea for change.
Next.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the next question is, what are your opinions on the interrelation between thing theory and eco-criticism?
Theory?
Between
Theory?
theory and eco-criticism.
Theory?
Thing theory.
How's it? Eh?
THIN.
What is this theory?
Sir. किसका क्वेश्चन है ये?
Dr. Vishakha, sir.
I understand. I don't understand your question.
Okay, sir. Moving on, sir. Sir, the next question is by Devansh Srivastav.
In what ways does the eco-criticism explore the representation of nature, the non-human world, and the ecological concern in literature, art, and popular culture?
Popular culture is not my area. Literature is my area, and I have shown you how women of literature operate in novels, in poetry. Popular culture is not my area, so I am not competent enough to answer your question.
Okay, next question, Mantasha.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, what are the prominent themes in literature that are pertaining to sustainable development goals?
Some of them I told you, every age has its own problem. Nowadays, literature is dystopia. So are being written because there is global warming. Ecotopia. So every age has its own typical problems. Respond to those problems. Okay?
Last question.
Literature does not have any one-time agenda. Literature is dynamic. It keeps on growing. It's sustaining itself for never issues.
Thank you, sir. The last question. Can we say that Amitav Ghosh's perspective on eco-criticism is more of a subconscious primary imagination contribution rather than conscious while writing on post-colonialism?
Okay, he relates the current global crisis of climate change with the onset of colonialism. That is what it is a mixture of history, myth, ecology. Read all these works, you will find the answer.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
But he is a unique writer. Everybody must read Amitav Ghosh so far as eco-criticism is concerned. At least these works, recent works. Gun Island, Hungry Tide, The Nutmeg Curse, The Great Derangement, smoke, hashish, etc., etc. Very serious writer. Yes, Sugandha.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, I think these are all the questions that the participants have asked. Thank you so much for your valuable time. And as always, it has been a great, great pleasure and honor to listen to you.
Actually, I have delivered lectures. I know people ask questions on the area on which I have not discussed. I did not discuss artificial intelligence. I did not discuss popular culture. You know, I speak in a very focused manner.
Yes,
I
sir.
spoke on literature and eco-criticism. So I am in a position to answer that. I am not an exponent of popular culture. I don't like popular culture.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not a fan of computer. I don't know anything about computer. So how should I know artificial intelligence?
Yes,
So
sir.
please advise your participants to be focused on the lecture, which is
Yes,
your
sir.
present design. Okay?
Yes, yes, sir.
They may go on asking. But remember that, tell them that they should remain focused on the lecture and not this side and that side.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much once again.
I hope I have been of some use to you and to your
Of course.
participants.
Of course, sir. Of course. Without a doubt.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Now, participants are advised that the feedback form link has been shared in the chat box. Please
Yeah.
fill the feedback form, and after filling the feedback form, you can leave the meeting. The details for the lecture tomorrow will be shared in the group that you all have been added to. Thank you so much, all the participants. Sir, Abidi sir, thank you so much for your time, sir. आप मीटिंग सर लीव कर सकते हैं if you want.
कैसे? क्या कह रहे हो?
हम कह रहे हैं सर, आप अगर चाहें तो आप मीटिंग लीव कर सकते हैं.
हाँ ठीक है.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर.
अभी. Okay.